Welcome to this week's edition of the A2 Schools podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Cluley, Director of Communications for the Ann Arbor Public Schools. As always, I'm joined by our superintendent, Dr. Swift. Thanks for being here today.
It's great to be here, Andrew. Thank you.
And today we also have our guest, Nancy Shore. She's the Director of Strategic Partnerships and Community Engagements. Thanks for being here, Nancy.
Hey, happy to be here. Thanks, Andrew.
Well, as you might imagine, since Nancy is here, we are going to be talking about partnerships and community engagement in the Ann Arbor Public Schools. And I know, Dr. Swift, it's a really important thing for the district, for any school district, to have their community involved. And Ann Arbor definitely is involved in the Ann Arbor Public Schools.
You know, I love that, Andrew. I'm always reminded that quality schools are known by the quality of our community engagement. We're so fortunate in Ann Arbor to have a highly engaged community. And you know, not a week goes by that I don't hear from folks saying, how do we help? Or how do we get involved? I just have to say, I'm so grateful that we have a community who really wants to bring forward their efforts to help us serve our children better.
And Ms. Shore, that's right to the question. My first question is, if you're a parent listening right now or a community member, maybe you're a part of an organization or a business, and you want to get involved in volunteering and helping out the Ann Arbor Public Schools, what do you do? What are those first steps?
Well, great question, Andrew. So something that I do want everybody to know is that we are fully open for people to come in and get involved. So if you're a parent or maybe you're in a neighborhood and you want to get involved in your local school, I would say the first place to start is going to that school. So most schools have opportunities either to be involved in one-time activities, to help out in a classroom. We have some great skill sets in our schools around literacy and math, and so there might be a great opportunity there, or to get involved in the library. So I would say that if you're specifically interested in going to a school that you're close to or you're a parent, then just go to that school and ask them what opportunities are available. If you're a community member or a student or somebody who is really open to maybe seeing where there may be some places that you can plug in, then you can go onto our website at a2schools.org/volunteer and see some of the volunteer opportunities there that are available across the district. There are also opportunities sometimes for one-time events and activities. For example, we sometimes have teachers or building staff that need help with putting their book room together. And so one time coming and doing that, we've had that opportunity. And then there's also opportunities just to help and give back. So we do have on the A2 Schools website as well a support students link, because we're always looking for wish list items if somebody wants to do a drive to support our students. So there's really lots of opportunities. And then, of course, all of the advisory boards and other types of engagement that we do all the time, you can look on our website and see opportunities available in those realms as well.
So it really sounds like no matter what your skill set is, there's something that you could probably do that would help out in the Ann Arbor Public Schools.
Absolutely. And of course, I would be remiss not to mention our PTOs, because almost all of them have ways for you to get involved and engaged, and that's typically through a school. So absolutely, there's lots of ways to get involved. And if you have your own idea, that's also a great opportunity either to email us at the partnerships office or talk to a school about what idea you may have, because sometimes that idea can blossom into a new opportunity.
You know, Nancy, one of the celebrations, and there have been so many this fall, is seeing so many adults re-engaging at the schools. And I rarely ever stop by a school that I don't see our volunteers. About how many folks are we working with? Do you know?
So at the district level, where we bring in volunteers that are both community members as well as University of Michigan students and others in the community, it's a little over 200. And so that's just people coming in. And so we know that our parent bases are even more. I happen to be an Ann Arbor parent, so I get to see sometimes some of the volunteering and engagement that happens at the school level. So it's got to be in the hundreds, if not many more.
That's wonderful.
And Ms. Shore, where are the areas of the greatest need in terms of community engagement?
So that's a great question. And I would say a lot of what we talk about when we talk about helping and supporting our students is that we know that there's a lot of research out there that shows that just one positive adult role model in the life of a child can make such a huge difference. And so we're really looking for those positive adult role models. And so a lot of the opportunities that I get are from teachers who'd love to have somebody volunteer as a classroom helper. There's also some that are a little bit more skills-based, like helping in math and literacy, because we also understand how important academic support is for our students, but we're doing it in an intentional way. So we do have some opportunities to provide a little bit more training to help with literacy and math. And then, as I mentioned before, we often have just a need for some set of helping hands. So be that in the library to help organize books, or helping out in the lunchroom during times when kids are needing some more support. There's lots of different opportunities, but most of it revolves around directly supporting our students. And then one final one that I will mention is that we do know we have a large English language learner population. And while we do provide lots of supports for those students, it's always nice to have somebody who may speak that student's language coming into the school and providing support. So we do have opportunities where a volunteer can work directly with one of our EL teachers to support a student who may share their same language.
Wow, that sounds like a really great opportunity for someone to really make a difference on a child's life.
Yeah, I mean, one story that I just had recently is that we did have a family who had a Ukrainian refugee at one of our schools, and we were able to find actually a University of Michigan student who was also from Ukraine, who was able to come and provide direct one-on-one support to that student, which is, again, in addition to what that student was already getting, but just to have a person who spoke the same language was so meaningful. And so it was great to see that happen.
And it's those kind of connections that truly make all the difference in the lives of children and families. I'm just so impressed with that example.
Yes, absolutely.
We've been talking a lot about sort of one-on-one volunteering efforts, but I know that your title includes partnerships in it. So can you talk sort of about what type of partnerships the Ann Arbor Public Schools has and what kind of things that we're doing with these partnerships?
Sure. So our office is called the Strategic Partnerships Office. And so that is specifically looking at partners that we have that we work with at the district level that may have areas or being involved in multiple schools, or they might just work with us at the district to say, where can I have the most impact on what I do? And so we have over 80 strategic partners, and they range from our community partners, so many nonprofits that we work with. And so the ways that they interact with us, or maybe they provide an after-school activity for students so that they can get additional academic support after school, or they're providing case management during the day, and we can work in concert with them to provide wraparound services. We also have many business partners, and they do so many great things. So they provide internship opportunities for our students, job shadowing, coming in one day. So we recently had a professor from U of M robotics that came into one of our 5th grade Project Lead the Way classrooms and did a little activity with a robot with their students. And so that was something where we had that partnership that blossomed into that one activity. We also have a lot of our nonprofit partners, business partners, and then we have our educational partners. So through University of Michigan, we have many, many different partnerships. Some of them are service learning partnerships with particular courses or classes, and some of them are partnerships around the kind of work that we do to support our students. So it really is a gamut, and if you are a parent that is at a business and you're looking for how your business can engage with us, then you can go on our Strategic Partnerships website, contact me, and we can start the ball rolling on that. So it's great to have organizations partner with us as well, because then we can also broadcast opportunities to all of their employees, which again allows us to expand our reach and have them be involved in a multitude of ways.
And Nancy, I'm so impressed always with businesses, corporations, higher ed, who build into their design time to partner and support our children and support our schools. So I just want to give a shout out to, and I know it's a large number of our business partners, I just want to give a shout out to every one of those. We appreciate the drives for winter clothing and all of that, but much of this is far beyond that they are giving time to their employees on a regular basis to be in our schools, supporting our children, our staff, our families, and community. That's a big deal.
Absolutely. And it becomes a relationship. So it isn't just one-time activities. We have many businesses that are involved in multiple different ways, from volunteering to providing in-kind donations. And so it really becomes a lot more of an exchange. And so it is really beautiful. I do want to acknowledge our bigger partners, Ann Arbor Spark and the Chamber, because they're
Yes.
the ones that we work in concert with to connect with a lot of these businesses. And so I do want to acknowledge their support of the work that we do here as well, and their commitment to education.
It's all community, really, is it schools and community, business, nonprofit, higher ed, and then all these individuals who just want to make a positive difference. What an exciting time.
Absolutely. Everybody has a role to play in supporting our students.
And speaking of making a positive difference, this is November, and obviously with Thanksgiving's coming up, there's a whole bunch of end-of-year holidays. And a lot of people at this time of year are looking at a way to give back. What sort of special opportunities are there in the Ann Arbor Public Schools at this time of year to really make a difference for our students?
Yeah, thank you for that question, Andrew. So we have an opportunity that is on the website at a2schools.org/wintergiving. And there's a couple of different ways that if you wanted to get involved and support students that need support over this time, there's a couple ways that you can do that. So first of all, we do a district-wide gift card drive. And this is because many schools are doing their own individual school-based activities, but they sometimes need more help and support. Maybe they don't have a PTO. Maybe their PTO is doing a lot of other good things and needs some extra support. And so we strategically use those gift cards to apply them to families and students that need them the most. Another opportunity is that we work with our McKinney-Vento liaison, Alicia Malone, and she supports our families experiencing homelessness at AAPS. And many of those families don't have transportation or the ability to access a place to shop. So instead of giving them a gift card, she will put together a wish list, and then we'll have businesses provide those gifts, and then she can help get those delivered to those families. So it's a really wonderful partnership that we have with a couple businesses, and we're always looking for more. So on that website, a2schools.org/wintergiving, there is a form where if you wanted to support providing gifts for McKinney-Vento students, you could also do that, our students experiencing homelessness. And then finally, we use this site as a collector of all of the requests from individual schools. So we know that each school is involved in their own winter giving activities. And this is just a way to allow our larger community who may not have a student currently in school, maybe close in a neighborhood, close to a school, and then they can actually see some of the needs, and then they can focus their efforts or energies on supporting a specific school. And those specific school needs include gift cards, they include winter clothing, they include wish lists. So if you go on the site, you'll be able to see a variety of different ways to get involved.
It's great to see that there's an opportunity for the community, and I know from past years that opportunity is met time and again by our community.
Yeah, absolutely. We have people that give every single year, and we're so grateful for all of them.
We truly are. I've never, it's just shocking how very supportive and caring and connected our community is. Nancy, I've been witness to those drives, and it's just always inspiring how engaged and how much our community rises.
Yeah, and I think that it also shines a light on the fact that we do still have need in this community. I know for a fact that from hearing from families and staff that inflation is hitting some families pretty hard. And so those of us who can give, this is all what community is about, right? Those who can give, and then we support our community. And so this is just a way to do that and reinforce that we're here for each other.
I love it. Before times we were about 1 in 4 of our students coming from a home impacted by poverty. But your point is well taken, is that with inflation and certainly Ann Arbor's, higher cost of living, our families do feel that crunch. We know that.
Well, let's turn to some good news in the Ann Arbor Public Schools. We are celebrating the Pioneer Field Hockey team. They recently won the state championship in Division I, 2-1. By defeating defending state champion Skyline High School. So it's great to see a pair of Ann Arbor Public Schools teams battling for the state title.
You know, Andrew, congratulations to Pioneer. I was over there just a few days ago when they were celebrating this win, and I'm so proud of them. And what an embarrassment of riches that Skyline and Pioneer have traded out state championships. But that's what we do here in Ann Arbor Public Schools, and I'm so proud of these students.
And actually, it was a literal trade because last year the finals were the exact same two teams, Pioneer and Skyline had won in overtime that year. So two very obviously evenly matched teams that can both be celebrated here in Ann Arbor.
That's just wonderful. Congrats to all the students and coaches and parents. What a great job.
Well, thank you very much for being with us today, Dr. Swift.
It's wonderful to be here. Thank you.
And Nancy Shore, the Director of Strategic Partnerships and Community Engagements. Thank you for joining us today as well.
Thank you, Andrew. Dr. Swift.
And thank you for listening to this week's edition of the A2 Schools podcast. As always, if you have any questions about the Ann Arbor Public Schools, the first place to go is our website, a2schools.org. If you have a question that you'd like to be asked or maybe a topic you'd like discussed on our podcast, don't hesitate to email communications@a2schools.org, and we'll work on getting that on a future edition of the A2 Schools podcast. And thank you very much for listening today.